Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here, and it's been a while. It's been a while since I've made a video like this where I kind of openly addressed the channel. And you know, since the last time I've made this type of video, the channel's grown quite a bit. So there are a lot of new subscribers here. A lot of you guys that have been here for a while as well. So in this video, I kind of want to talk about, you know, why, because I did, you know, a lot of you left comments saying, hey, where have you been? You dropped off the face of the earth. Are you okay? And that was really nice. That was really nice to see because I have been really absent on the channel for the past like 5 months. Pretty much everything except my Outlast Let's Play. I just haven't really been on the channel. And so it has been nice to see. A lot of people left comments, emails saying, hey, you know, are you okay? I just want to make sure you're not like lying dead in a ditch somewhere. I'm pretty sure someone said those exact words. But the point is that it was nice to see that when I was absent, you guys, you know, cared and were interested and hopeful that everything was going on, you know, everything was well in my life. So I wanted to make this update video to just kind of address everything that's been going on. And then, you know, this is my channel. You guys choose to subscribe here, and that means a lot to me, and I think it's only fair. I like to give you guys updates whenever important things go on in my life. You know, of course, I hold back some of the details because there has to be some personal privacy involved. But overall, generally speaking, I love sharing, you know, some of my life details with you guys. And if you're not interested, then you don't have to watch the video. And if you are interested, then let's just get into this. Okay, so the first thing to point out, you know, the channel on a positive note is doing really well. I'm getting really close to 5,000 subscribers. I think I'm like 200 away. And I'm also getting really close to a total view count of 1 million. So that means across my entire channel, every video I've ever made, I'm almost at 1 million views. I think I'm like 20,000 away or something like that. So that's just really cool. You know, those are two milestones that when I started this channel, I never imagined getting there. Never. So it's quite remarkable to see how the channel has grown in that regard, and I have you guys to thank for that. But that's not really what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is why I've been absent and kind of what's going on. Just share some details with you. And the first thing you'll notice is if you look behind me, I'm in a brand new location. You guys have never seen this location. I got a new bed, new bookshelf, that filing cabinet. That's the same, but maybe you got, I don't, point is I'm in a new place, okay? So what ended up happening, I'm going to kind of like try to make this go as quickly as possible and not linger on one topic too long. But essentially what happened is around January, like late December to early January, I had to leave my apartment that I was in because there was a bug outbreak, and it got to the point where I just couldn't live with it anymore. Like these bugs were getting in my closet, on my clothes, and I just had to say, you know what, I'm going to cancel my lease early. I'll pay a fine if I have to for doing that, but I can't live in this, you know, because I mean, you guys could pretty much see from behind me, I'm a pretty clean, sanitary person, and it's, you know, I'm not afraid of bugs. I don't even dislike bugs. It's just, you know, you can't have bugs in your living area. That's not ideal. So I had to get out, and I ended up moving back home with my family. And the reason I did that is because this place that I'm currently in now, it's a house that's owned by my family, and they were renting it out, and they said, hey, if you could just wait until May, the current tenant will be gone, and then you can move in here, and you can live in the house. You know, you can find a couple roommates and make it work. So I ended up living back at home for 5 months. It was really tough to have to move back. It was embarrassing. It wasn't ideal in any regard. But sometimes that's life, and you just gotta adapt, and you gotta go with the flow. So I did. 5 months later, I'm finally moved into this house. One of my roommates is a colleague of mine from the university, another physicist, and the other room is empty. But the point is, I'm in this house. I'm finally all settled. I just moved in like 2 weeks ago, got everything going. So everything's good in that regard. And so another reason that I've been away and have been really busy is I've just been really swamped with everything going on. So, you know, there's moving into a new place. There's my job at the university. It just got really overwhelming. I was taking 3 classes, which is not recommended for PhD students. I was doing research, I was teaching, and I was teaching a class it's a pretty advanced math class, and there was a lot of grading involved. So it's just been the most overwhelming semester I've ever done, from January to May. And at the same time, I'm trying to balance my life into it. I'm trying to still hang out with my family. I'm trying to still hang out once a week with my best friend. Another piece of good news is I met someone in January, and things, we really hit it off, and things are still going very well. I'm still seeing her. And so there's also that, there's work, there's life, there's moving, there's my friends, there's this girl that I've met, there's family. It's just I felt like I was being pulled in a million directions, and at the end of the day, you just have to kind of make realistic sacrifices, and those sacrifices came in the form of video games, to the point where, hopefully you guys don't, I don't want you to think, oh, well, he doesn't care about his channel. No, it got so bad to the point where not only was I not playing games for the channel, I wasn't playing video games at all. I went an entire month and a half without picking up a controller. And that, for me, that's the longest I've ever gone with no video games, because for those that know me, video games are my biggest form of stress release. They've been with me through everything in life. And anytime life gets tough or scary or whatever, I've always found my calmness in video games. And so to go a month and a half without playing anything, that was hard. But that just kind of shows the gravity of the situation, and it just, realistically, I just did not have time to invest in gaming. So it's been a struggle there, but that actually brings me to my next point, which is the biggest piece of news, a major life change, and I'll tell you about that. All right, so the biggest thing that's been going on, this has been the thing that's at the front of my mind for the past 2 months, since March. So for those of you who don't know me, maybe you're new to the channel, I graduated undergrad last year, May 2018, with 2 degrees, one in accounting and one in physics, and then a minor in mathematics. And for the past 4 years, I've lived under the impression that I knew what I was doing. There was no question about it. I was going to pursue the physics path. I wanted to be a professional physicist working at a university. And the steps you have to take to do that, you have to get your PhD, which means another 5 to 6 years in grad school. Hopefully you get hired as a postdoc, and then hopefully you get hired as a professor somewhere. And there's so much to talk about here, and I don't want to take too long, so I'll kind of just give you the highlights. The number one thing is I'm interested in theoretical physics. That's what my research is in. And honestly, even if you get your PhD, getting hired as a professor in theoretical physics is just, it's near impossible. It is so hard now. There's just hardly any spots open. Universities, they don't have room. They don't have the funding, whatever it is. The getting a job in theoretical physics is not easy. Okay, so it's like, even if I were to spend 5 to 6 years in grad school, I probably couldn't even get a job in it afterwards. And so then you got to question, what's the point? But the other thing is, when I graduated undergrad, I'll never forget the day that my degrees came in the mail. I'm sitting here holding up both of my degrees, and I'm just thinking, wow, I've been committed to this idea of being a physicist for 4 years, but there's a lot of other opportunities out there for me with these 2 degrees. I could do a lot. But I don't know, because I hadn't thought about this. I thought I was going straight on physics. So what I said to myself is, I said, you know what, I'll do a year of grad school, and then at the same time, I'll kind of research other employment opportunities, and if something else comes along, I'll pursue it, and if it interests me, So I just said, why don't I do a year of grad school and reevaluate? So anyway, I've now finished my first year of grad school, and it was a very hard decision. And like I said, there are a lot of reasons I've made this decision that I'm not going to go in detail. But what happened was, in March, I made the decision that I no longer wanted to pursue the academia route. I no longer wanted to pursue being a professional working theoretical physicist. And I started looking at other opportunities. I started looking at teaching physics in high school. I started looking at using my analytical skills to go into the corporate sector to do some type of financial predicting, stuff like that. Stuff where I could kind of still use my mathematical mind, but just applied to business rather than science. I just started looking at all sorts of different career opportunities, and like I said, this decision came in March, and it was really hard. You know, it felt like going through a bad breakup, like admitting to myself that I was going to walk away from physics, because physics has been there for me for the past 4 years of my life. Like I kind of buried myself in the work, and don't get me wrong, I love physics. I will always love physics, but again, there are a lot of factors at play here that I'm not going to talk about, but essentially I came to the conclusion that I can still love physics without pursuing it professionally. That's the ultimate thing that's the conclusion I came to. So back in March, I started applying to jobs, you know, with corporations, going into like the business sector. So not only was I trying to move out, not only was I wrapping up my first year of grad school, but now I'm applying for jobs, going to interviews, doing all this stuff that I never thought I'd be doing had you asked me 2 months ago, you know? So anyway, I'm happy to say, finally, after 2 months of probably the most stressful 2 months of my life, just 2 weeks ago, right when I was moving into the house actually, I finally got a full-time offer with a company, a big company, which again, like I said, there are some things I don't feel comfortable sharing, so I just want to give the general layout here. But it's a really big company that's headquartered here where I live, and it's a job, again, trying not to say too many details, but this position is ideal for me because it is not your typical like accounting or finance job. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's incredibly similar to what I do now as a scientist. So you look at what I do as a scientist. I come up with some type of toy model, some type of mathematical model to explain something in the universe, right? That's what physics is. And then maybe I do some computer coding, some numerical simulations, and I try to apply that model to the real world thing and see if it accurately predicts the model, right? That's science. So my new job is going to be essentially that same thing. I'm going to be coming up with mathematical models, statistical models. I'm going to be computer coding. I'm going to be running simulations. But instead of applying these models to some physical phenomena, I'm applying these models to the financial pricing of the industry that I'm going to be working in, right? So essentially, I'm trying to forecast and predict how the pricing trends in this industry are going to go, right? So maybe that doesn't sound as exciting, I don't know, but I'm really excited, and I think that's what matters. Is when I got this offer, this is out of everything I was interviewing for, this is the one I really wanted because I felt like it just so closely aligned with the skills I've picked up as a scientist, but just applied to a different field. And so I'm happy to say, you know, I got the position, and I'm just incredibly excited. You know, having this job. The salary, you know, is significantly more than what I was making as a PhD student, and that's going to factor into my wellness of life, you know, being able to actually buy the things I want to buy, because like as a grad student, I couldn't even afford a car, right? I was using a car that was handed down in my family, was barely running, but now after getting this offer, I actually just finally bought my dream car. I'll throw a picture of it right here as I'm talking about it. But yeah, that was just one thing. And you know, it's not like, don't get me wrong, it's not all about the money. But I'd be lying if I said the money wasn't important. So that's a big deal. The other big deal is, you know, I feel like I'm just going to have much more of a healthy work-life balance because with physics, working in academia, your work does not stay at work. Like when you go home, you're still expected to be reading through textbooks, to be researching papers. Like when you're working in science, you're just always thinking about it. Whereas with this job, you know, this typical kind of corporate 9-to-5 job, sure, there are going to be some projects, some weekends where I'm working late, where I'm working at home. But otherwise, it's typically, hey, you know, once you're done, your work stays here. You go home, you watch a Netflix movie, you play some video games, you relax, right? It's just a completely different dynamic, and I think that's a lot healthier for me at this stage in my life. So yeah, that's kind of everything that's been going on, and it's a lot, you know, everything kind of piled on top of each other. Finishing up the first year, applying for jobs, getting the job, moving into a new house, everything was just piling up, and I haven't had any time to really like even think about YouTube. But, whoops, sorry, shook my camera. But anyway, I wanted to share those details with you guys, and I want to end this video by saying what I kind of want to do moving forward. So at the moment, I really don't have any plans to make any walkthroughs because the YouTube community is just really pissing me off lately. Like every time a new game comes out, everybody and their mother is making a so-called walkthrough, and it's just oversaturated, and it takes all motivation out to actually make a legit walkthrough. It's really depressing, to be honest. So what I want to do for the foreseeable, couple of months is I want to do more Let's Plays. I did that Outlast Let's Play, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I think it'll be easier for me because as I'm adjusting to this new life, this new house, this new job, it's a lot easier to do a Let's Play because one, there's less editing, and two, it's just me playing a game, right? I don't have to strategize, I don't have to do commentary or anything like that. So I want to do more Let's Plays, and something I thought would be interesting, and I don't know how long this project would take, but essentially I've made a list of, I thought about it, I've made a list of my top 10 favorite games of all time. And what I'd like to do is I would like to do a Let's Play for every single one of those games and kind of make it like this countdown thing, right? Like start with number 10, do a Let's Play for it, and then work my way all to number 1. That way, you guys get to see me play 10 different games. You get to learn what my favorite games are, and then I get to play my favorite games, which is going to make me way happier. And then, like I said, as I'm adjusting to this new life, I'll be able to look forward to coming home and filming a Let's Play because it's just going to be me winding down and playing a game that I already love, So those are some thoughts. That's kind of what I picture on the horizon. Again, with all these changes coming, I don't know how strict my scheduling is going to be, but that's the plan, guys. And so anyway, I just wanted to make this video so that you knew I wasn't dead, I wasn't dying, I didn't give up on the channel. I just kind of wanted to let you know what's been going on for the past 5 months, why things have been so crazy. And also, just like you guys reached out to me because you care about me, you care about the channel, I care about you guys. Like, this channel has become so much more than I ever thought it would. And I can't explain how much I love interacting with you. Like, I've met so many people through this channel, and I'm pretty good friends with a handful of people that I've met just through doing YouTube, and so I really care about this. I care about you guys. And so with all these changes coming, just as I would go tell my parents and my friends, I feel like I also want to share that information with you guys. So that's why I wanted to make this video. Otherwise, I'm gonna stop talking because I've been going on forever. Thank you guys. Stick around. I'll see you whenever I start these Let's Plays. And again, thank you for all your support.